Welcome to Santos Brothers Eat, food worth mentioning.
Where Chef Jeff and his brother Kenny talk about their amazing adventures eating and tasting food that is so incredible, they have got to just share it with the world.
My mouth is salivating already.
All right, so this is Kenny Santos for Santos Brothers Eats. I'm with my brother Chef Jeff Santos, and we are your favorite Filipino foodies. And if this is your first time to the podcast, this is where me and my brother Jeff, we talk about food that's worth mentioning, and it could be food that we find extra delicious, and that's what we most of the time we talk about. Sometimes it's kind of food that might be weird or strange or a little bit peculiar, but we are going to be talking about actually food from the Indian, both East and West Indian, right, Jeff? Now that I think of it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we talked about West Indies and the East Indian food before. Certain places like the chapatis, and I'm trying to think of another place we've been to. Oh, the patty, where Drake's favorite patty shop. I forgot what it was
Patty
called.
Stop. Patty Stop.
Patty Stop, yes.
Yeah.
But to continue on, I actually today, as of today's podcast where we're recording, I went to a place called Allwyn's Bakery, and there's be an article soon. I think just earlier this year, they were ranked number one jerk chicken according to Blog TO in Toronto. So they have Ken has a thing up there. Yep, best jerk chicken in Toronto, and number one is Allwyn's Bakery.
Absolutely. And so Allwyn's Bakery, I was actually looking at this as Jeff told me that he ate there today. It's usually a staple by York Mills, but now they got 4 locations. So Jeff, you went to the Etobicoke location or downtown? Like where'd you go?
Etobicoke one, yeah, the one in the Queensway. I think that's their second one. Okay. And then they opened one, I believe, Mississauga, and I forgot what the fourth one is. But yeah, they're expanding.
Yeah. Actually, it says original store at Yonge and Shepherd, the Queensway and Queens West. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right, downtown. That's right, downtown Toronto.
Yeah. And so now here's the thing is I know Jeff, and so it's not very usual for him to eat jerk chicken. And I was actually asking, so you don't eat jerk chicken. What are you even doing there? Right. So
that is correct. I'm not a big fan of jerk chicken, but I do love oxtail. I think we mentioned that before, that oxtail is one of my weaknesses. But I was in the area and I just looked up their menu. I just wanted to see what they have, that maybe pick up an oxtail. But then I noticed, I don't think it's new, but they actually have what's a stuffed sandwich. So similar to what Ken had. So it's basically a patty in a cocoa bun, but then they add more to it. Nice. Actually, you have a choice between, right there, your choice of beef patty inside cocoa bun served with creamy coleslaw. But in addition to that, there's the deluxe stuffed sandwich, the one on the left side, Ken.
Yeah, I see that there, yeah.
That is it.
So it's a fried chicken, plantain, and mozzarella cheese stuffed inside a Jamaican beef patty, stuffed inside a cocoa bun, and drizzled with gravy. Is that what you ended up getting, Jeff?
That's exactly what I had. And
that sounds really good. It actually reminds me of, what episode was it when I went to the hot sauce emporium? Remember what that place was called?
That was in the stop?
No,
that was.
No. I'm looking at it. Actually, I'm looking at the list right now.
Okay.
Tata's jerk chicken patty sandwich. Yes, so that was season 1, episode 11. Season 1, episode 11. Tata's jerk chicken patty sandwich. So good stuff. Because that was a stuffed sandwich. It was like, a beef patty that was, stuffed inside of a cocoa bread or a cocoa bun. And then, there's a whole bunch of extras inside. Your extras happen to be fried chicken and plantain. Oh. And here's something that kind of caught me off guard. Mozzarella cheese.
Yeah. I'm not too sure why they chose mozzarella. I'm in the culinary field, so I don't think there is like a cheese of the West Indies. And I guess they choose mozzarella because of the stringy factor. They want to make sure that when you bite into it, or the melting factor, that it has something to that. So when you bite into it, you pull it away from your mouth, it has that stringy effect. Or because mozzarella isn't really that flavorful, it's more for the stringiness. So they don't want too much flavor with the fried chicken or the jerk sauce or the gravy that goes with it. They don't want like too many competing flavors with that. So Ken, if you want to bring up the picture of it, or of Allwyn's. And
Absolutely,
then,
yeah. So we'll bring up those pictures here. And so this is the picture you want, right, Jeff? Well,
yeah,
actually, now it's
let's see
not
it.
working out. Here we go.
All right.
Yeah, so you can
So
see the
yeah,
mozzarella cheese there. And is
hmm
this the plantain up here?
it's a plantain up there. So yeah,
Yeah,
this
very
was a great
nice.
sandwich. Like the cocoa buns on the outside, it was fresh, and the patty. It's the same patty company that I think Patty King, I believe it is.
Okay.
Same patty, and then the plantain on top added the sweetness to it, and a big piece of fried chicken. Like that's my hand holding it, and I have a pretty big hand, so this is a
Nice.
very generous portion.
Now, let me
Um,
ask you something here, Jeff.
yes.
Was there like any sort of like mayonnaise or anything on the actual bun?
No, there wasn't.
Interesting.
But they
Okay.
did. But the gravy on it did add enough moisture to it. Um,
Okay.
now,
Nice.
as people that listen know this podcast, I'm not a big fan of heat, and I didn't want to make sure it's not hot, spicy or anything like that, because maybe the chicken was already spicy. And I said, you know what? If it is spicy, I'll live with it. I got myself a mango drink with it just in case. It wasn't spicy at all. The actual filling of the beef patty and the gravy, the jerk gravy they used, was a bit spicy. But yeah, I think next time I get this, I'll ask for a bit more gravy on it. Just give it some moisture.
Nice. So
Yeah,
just looking at the picture, I can't tell where the gravy is.
it's actually in the back. I know, like the front of it was pretty dry, but it wasn't
Okay.
until you got to the back of it where the actual patty part is.
Yeah.
So actually, I think that's where the gravy is. Um,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah. So, like I said, it's a great sandwich. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
there's a picture of it they had. So it's one on the left side. So you can see that
Yeah.
your options are barbecue chicken, jerk pork, jerk chicken, or fried chicken.
And so just
Yeah.
looking at those choices, because if I go here, if I don't have the oxtail stew, which is probably a
hmm
go-to that
Oh yeah.
I would always go for, I would try any of those it's not even jerk, any of those sandwiches. I'd probably, since you've already had the fried chicken, I probably might try the barbecue chicken or
Yeah.
even the jerk pork. Jerk flavoring isn't, exactly my favorite, although I did like
No.
Tata's sandwich, so
Okay.
I'm willing to give this place a try as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's a good sandwich. My only negative thing to say about it was that the chicken itself was a bit bland. I wish
Was it
the fried
juicy?
chicken had more flavor. It was juicy.
It
It
wasn't dry,
just
just
it needed
bland.
more flavor. It just
That's
needed more flavor.
kind
You
of a
know,
little
when you
problem.
think, yeah, when you think of West Indian place, when they do fried chicken, they should be able to make good, tasty fried chicken. Unfortunately, this
Absolutely.
fried chicken was a bit bland. Maybe just add more salt, more seasoning to it, to the actual meat or the breading. But yeah, I just found it bland. And
Okay.
if it wasn't for everything else that was in the sandwich itself, I'd be kind of disappointed. But I think that's my only beef with this chicken and with this sandwich was the chicken was a bit bland.
What would you rate
Um,
this sandwich?
Due to that fact, I only give it a 7.
Okay.
Yeah. And the same with the mozzarella. Like, I don't know, it seemed hot enough, but I think the purpose for the mozzarella was to make it more stringy, more, yeah.
You can
You
see
can
it
see right
here.
there,
It's not melted,
it's
right?
not melted at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
if I see mozzarella on a sandwich, I want something that's melted and stringy. Um,
even in their commercial picture here that you took here on the wall here, that cheese there isn't melted either, which is kind
no.
of a little bit of a disappointment there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So there's a picture of me in front of Allwyn's. This is one on Allwyn's on the Queensway.
Nice.
But yeah,
Nice.
if you like jerk chicken or yeah in Toronto, Blog Teos is #1. So yeah,
Yeah.
head for it and try their sandwich. Maybe it was an off day. I must say I've been there twice already, and they're always busy. So and I guess the Blog Teo article and every article about Alwyn's is the truth. They have the best fried chicken. Sorry, jerk chicken.
Jerk chicken, and let's face it, Jeff didn't even eat the jerk chicken. So maybe the
No,
jerk chicken is absolutely awesome. It's just that Jeff
yeah,
didn't get it because he doesn't like
that's
jerk
right.
chicken. All right. And so, if there's a lineup outside, I'm sure that their chicken is absolutely spectacular.
hmm
And, this is at the top of the list out of 9 usually. This usually
That's
has
right.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all these different places. And so if you're looking for some jerk chicken, this place is rated #1 according to Blog TO. And that's
Yeah.
basically the West Indian side of things that we had a chance to try.
Oh, and just
Oh,
before we leave, so
yeah.
I've been here before for their oxtail, and
Yeah.
their oxtail was delicious, I must say.
Ah,
Yeah.
was there
I didn't get
oxtail
a
stew?
picture. Yeah, oxtail stew.
Tender, slow-cooked oxtail served on a bed of rice and peas, served with coleslaw and a side of plantain. You know what? That reminds me. I kind of like how they added a piece of plantain inside of that deluxe stuffed
Yeah.
sandwich here.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure it added not only to the flavor and also the moisture, but also the texture,
it did.
which kind of is nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
To me, it was more of the sweetness to it. Like it just sort of cut some of the heat down.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was a nice surprise to have some plantain in a sandwich with fried chicken and the jerk gravy on it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now we're going to talk about some of the. I guess it's from an East Indian establishment, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that this really isn't East Indian food because I went back to our good friend Street Eats Market, Scarborough
Yeah.
Town Center, and I went back to Chaska.
Yes.
Chaska
Nice.
Indian street food, and we actually talked about that on season 2, episode 9, Street Eats Market Scarborough grand opening, where what did we have there, Jeff? Do you remember what it was
We
called?
had the was it Kathy roll, I believe it's called, or Meti roll. So yeah, it's like their version of a burrito. And I think we had butter chicken inside, if I'm
Yes.
mistaken.
Yeah, so that was episode 9, season 2, and I had something a little bit different. And it is something that's not even on their menu, believe it or not. It is something that I saw on the side of their truck. And so here it is here. It's called the Brownie Samosa. And Jeff and I were not in the know. We actually had to look up what bussin means or busang.
Yeah.
Because we were just thinking it was a region in India or something. We didn't know what that means. But what does it mean according to according to Urban Dictionary, Jeff, eh?
It's an adjective that means that this is, and particularly food, this food is effing good.
Yeah,
That's
effing.
all.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they didn't use the word effing. You know what word they used, right? So,
Yeah.
you know what? I will say this brownie samosa was pretty effing good. You know what? It was a samosa stuffed with a brownie, topped with rabdi chocolate and salted caramel sauces, and finished with the chocolate chips and crushed pistachios. And I guess it contains walnuts. And Jeff, I'm going to ask you, maybe you don't know, what is rabdi chocolate?
To be honest, I'm not too sure. There are just so many different chocolate companies out there. There's Calabo, there's Lindt. So I'm not too sure if this chocolate is maybe an East Indian chocolate, just to go with their culture. But unfortunately, I'm not familiar with this brand of chocolate. I apologize.
You know, I'm wondering if it is chocolate because there's rabdi bites on the Chaska menu.
Oh.
Warm bite-sized crisp with cinnamon, nutmeg, all covered in flavorful Indian condensed milk. Oh, Indian condensed milk is rabdi. That's where we are.
So maybe it's rabdi.
So that's the drizzle.
Yes,
because if we
it is.
went back to the picture, where's the picture here? The picture, yeah, it's topped with rabdi, chocolate. So it's rabdi is probably that sauce, and it also had chocolate as well. So we're learning some things as we go here, Jeff.
There we go.
That's
awesome.
This particular brownie, this is something, if you're going to eat some Indian street food and if you're with someone that doesn't like the East Indian flavors, get them one of these. All right, because this is a dessert. It was pretty tasty. All right, $6.99. If there was 2 of them, and they split them in half,
I was gonna ask.
and as you can see, it did come with it didn't come with that. I actually ordered I wanted something to drink with this, and so that's just a mango lassi, one of my favorite drinks. But it was super tasty. I really enjoyed it.
Oh,
and
I can imagine.
here's an even closer picture of it without the spoon and everything. You could see the rabdi. I guess that's this white stuff here. You could see the pistachios. You could see the brownie inside and the chocolate sauce. It was well done. The one thing I did think is that it's nice and moist and the brownie tasted good. The actual samosa, the wrapping felt a little bit thick. And I think it was just thick because it was a dessert. samosa,
Okay.
because it's about as thick as it would be at any other place. Like if you're getting samosas somewhere else, it was the same thickness, but it just didn't
Right.
match as well. But at the same time, I would not expect them to make a separate shell just for their, just for their brownie
Yeah.
samosas.
Well,
Yeah.
what they could have done, if I don't know if their samosas wrappers are, commercial or they get it from industrial, like a food place, they could have just maybe rolled it out a bit thinner when they're making their brownie ones. Um,
Possibly, possibly.
yeah, because I don't think that this is, because it did say original for Chaska, so I don't think this is available like frozen. They just deep fry. So I think they make these on at their main kitchen. So, and I could be wrong though,
Yeah,
but
it
yeah,
was good though. It was good.
okay,
Something that I would order again, and something that I'd recommend. Because if I remember right, Diana doesn't like East Indian food, but if we had to eat
no,
at a place like this would be
doesn't.
something that she'd like, at least for dessert,
Yeah,
right?
well, that's the reason why I had the the stuffed patty for lunch today. I got off work early and I had some time, so I'm gonna go get lunch now. And
Absolutely, yeah.
that's it.
And so while I was there, I actually wanted to have what's called a kulfi faluda. Kulfi faluda.
Look at
Kulfi
that.
is Indian ice cream. Actually, it says right here, Indian ice
Okay,
cream, and faluda. It's flavored milk, Indian ice cream with flavored milk, rice noodles, and basil seeds or basil, depending on what
basil. Yeah.
accent you want to talk with. And there are three flavors. They have the chai, the royal, which is rose, and then the kesar, which is saffron. I wanted to get
Wow.
the saffron one just to try it, and they said they didn't have any of the
Hmm.
faludas, which is why I
Ah,
ended up with the lassi. And I was happy with the
okay.
lassi,
No, of
but
course.
I want to try something new, especially for the podcast.
Yeah.
Out of these, I mean, which one would you have tried, Jeff?
To be honest, I think I would try the saffron just
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
what.
a dessert. It's a flavor you don't usually associate with dessert.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
wanted. It's what I wanted. They didn't
Okay.
have it, and what's kind of nice is that the fact that they didn't have it, it's just an excuse just to go back and try it.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's two things now that we got to go back to Street Eats Scarborough location to get. We got to get the
Yes, it
Deep
is.
Impact. What is that called? Deep Impact
Oh,
Meteor from Hungry Moon,
meteor. Yep.
and then we got to
And
try
then
this
now this.
Kesar Kulfi Faluda. Absolutely,
Wow.
yeah. So,
That's
and
awesome.
I like the fact that it has little rice noodles. You can kind of see in the pictures here, especially with the
Yeah.
chai one in the middle, the original. You can see the noodles on the bottom, and so it's almost
Hmm.
parfait-ish. There's like a layer on the bottom, and then um, on top, and so it's almost like a parfait, which is kind of neat. If I was going to rate just the brownie, okay, and I was
Yep.
just going to rate just the brownie here, I would probably give it a solid 8.5. It's a good brownie. I mean, I'd
Nice.
like it.
Yeah.
I would be happy to give it to kids, unless they're allergic to nuts or something. And it's something
Okay.
I'd go to again. It's something that, it doesn't stand on its own, because if you're hungry and you eat that, you're going to want more food,
Oh,
so
for
it's
sure.
good to finish off a meal. And it's actually the
Yes.
perfect size that if you were going to share a dessert, you could share that and be very satisfied with. So
Nice.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
So yeah. So quick question: did you go to Street Eats just for something for the media? Like, why'd you go to Street Eats this time? Just out of curiosity.
I was just on a
You're just in the
walk and I
area.
stopped by. So
Okay.
yeah,
Perfect.
just stop by, and then I went to Street Eats and I noticed that their parking lot, there's a lot of food trucks in their parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, but they were kind of lined all around the perimeter, but they were not
Okay.
open. So it looks like that they were there. They were just there for the night market. That's what I think that
Okay.
they were there for.
So quick question: like, I passed by and I noticed that all the food trucks on that in that parking lot, but are they still there in the original spot, or are they all moved to the parking lot now?
So all of the, like where I went and like where you originally buy food, like
Yeah.
those were all operational inside of there, and anything that was in
Okay.
the parking lot was closed. So I have a feeling they were just there for the night market, or they were just
Yeah.
there until the night market, because I think
Okay.
the night market is that parking lot, if I
Yes.
understand correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I believe too. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay.
And so those are our friends over at Street Eats Market. We're going to be visiting them. We've got to do a podcast about their night market, which we haven't had a chance to
Yes.
visit just
No,
yet.
we haven't. We plan
Oh,
to, of course.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is a great podcast referring to some, according to Blog TOs, number one jerk chicken in Toronto, and our friends at Street Eats Market in Scarborough with
Yeah.
Chaska.
Yeah, kind of both. We get to talk about both East Indian and West Indian food. Even though the brownie samosa, I don't know if that would anyone would really consider that East Indian. I mean, the samosa part, yeah, but I don't know if they usually do that. But it was a great episode because definitely food worth mentioning. Yes, and now before I let my brother sign us off, I'm going to ask you guys to do something super easy and super simple. If you are getting value from our podcasts or from our content or our videos, whether you're just getting entertained or you like our food recommendations, we invite you to either like, subscribe, share, comment, leave a review, all that other fun stuff, because it really helps us get the word out. And it's an easy way for you to support our content and to do so for free. Right, Jeff?
That is right. And from your favorite Filipino foodies, remember this quote from Julia Child: "People who love to eat are always the best people."
And that, of course, includes my brother, Chef Jeff Santos, and I'm his brother, Kenny Santos, and you as well, if you love to eat food worth mentioning. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody.
All right. Take care.
All right.
You've been listening to Santos Brothers Eat.
Food worth mentioning.